Nick, is Elton Brand right? Is the Sixers window right now?
Absolutely, yes. The Sixers are built, if we can just throw the Warriors out for a minute, because I know they've changed the math for everybody. The Sixers are built, and this is where I'm going to try to sway you, C, because I know you have real questions about them.
This is going to be difficult.
Okay. The Sixers are built the way the championship teams of your entire lifetime have been built. They've got a dominant big, a top 5 player in the league in Joel Embiid, a guy that's playing like an MVP right now, not what he will be right now. They now add to it an all-star caliber top 20 wing, and then their third best guy can be Ben Simmons. To go along with that, an elite defense, one of the best defenses in the NBA last year that I think just got better defensively, adding Jimmy Butler. Their complementary piece is a knockdown shooter in J.J. Redick. Now, they're not a perfectly built team. They're a team that probably does still need to add another rotation player. But how many champions in NBA history have we seen? Top 5 MVP candidate, big guy, excellent wing 2 ways, and then really nice additional pieces. One other all-star in Ben Simmons. Like, of course that is a championship caliber team. Of course that's a team that can look eye to eye with any team in the East and say, we're as good as you.
They only have 2 players that can play at a championship level. That's Joel Embiid, right now, probably the MVP of the NBA. He's amazing. He's grown his game. He's drawing so many fouls and getting to the free throw line. The numbers are astonishing, just what he's doing. And Jimmy Butler will knock down some shots. But in this new NBA, it's not the NBA that I grew up in. You have to have spacing on the court. Like, defense can only carry you so far. Most of those championships, they were great defensive teams in the era that you're talking about. But now, man, you got to be able to score the basketball, and you can't disregard the analytics going on in basketball. You can't disregard spacing in basketball. None of these championship teams are going to be put together. And the reason why I don't believe they're as high as Nick is, they got a problem with Ben Simmons. And the problem is Ben Simmons thinks he's a point guard. But they need Ben Simmons to be the new and improved Draymond Green. And I'm talking about he needs to be able to being a great defender, being a great rebounder. He does that. But he says, read his interviews, hey, can you play the 1 through the 4? He said, yeah, but I will, but I'm a 1. I'm a point guard. Well, what are they going to do with Markelle Fultz in his whole development? Because the more he wants to be a 1, the more it hurts Fultz development as a point guard. And neither one of those guys can shoot. Markelle Fultz is starting point guard right now. He's averaging 24 minutes. You know the reason why he's not averaging more than that? Because they don't trust him. So to think that they can win a championship with 2 of their marquee players cannot shoot the ball outside of 8 feet, that to me seems impossible.
I don't look at Markelle Fultz as one of their marquee players. I know he's the #1 pick of the draft, and right now they're giving him, I think, courtesy minutes. They are going to have to. Now that they've added Jimmy Butler.
If they had a strong bench, I wouldn't have to mention him. That was the other thing I couldn't even get to. The reason why I mentioned him is because they don't have a bench. Who's their backup point guard?
Well, so Ben Simmons and Fultz split the time, which is.
There you go back to the Ben Simmons as a point.
Right.
He can't be a point. If they're going to get the maximum out of him, he can't be a point in this new NBA.
See, I guess I disagree with you on that. I think if they have because Joel Embiid shoots threes now, even though I don't need him to. We know that J.J. Redick and Jimmy Butler can. What they need is a 4, which is kind of what they had in Covington, by the way, but a 4 that can shoot threes. You can have a guy on the court that doesn't shoot threes. It's odd if it's your point guard, but you can have it. I look at the Sixers, there's 2 things. One is, I think they and the Lakers will be the prime buyout candidate destinations. Last year, that's how they added Ilyasova. That's how they added, was it Bellinelli? Their other major 3.
All that's fine and dandy. But we're talking about who they are right now. They can be a buyout destination, but who they are right now, they are not a championship. So Elton, in that prepared little message he had as a new general manager, and I'm pulling for him, but he said, make sure you write this down because I can't go just off the top of my head.
Clearly.
I understand the message, all right? But How are these guys going to be with Jimmy Butler there? Are these guys going to keep developing? Or, because Jimmy Butler, man, he's not easy on his teammates. As far as, are they going to get better? That's the huge question. If they don't get drastically better, this conversation is we might as well move on. But if Ben Simmons, if he doesn't improve like Joel Embiid did, which we're just kind of granting that to him, because right now he's not better shooting the basketball than he was last season. He's actually worse. If you look at from at the bucket to 15 feet, he's actually worse than he was last year.
Which is why, if they hadn't added Jimmy Butler, I would say I need to revise what I thought of the Sixers. But when you add Jimmy Butler, what you need from Ben Simmons goes down so drastically. Like, again, I don't think anyone's beating the Warriors even as they're trying to rip each other apart.
What about in the East?
They absolutely can win the East.
Who can't they beat in the East?
I mean, that would be, I think that they are eye to eye with Toronto and a tick better than Milwaukee.
Yeah,
and
that's in Nick's eyes. I think that Boston has their number. And they throw so many things at Philadelphia that they're not going to. I mean, they embarrassed Philadelphia last season. So until we see them on the court and Philly much improve against Boston, let's put Boston ahead of them. You can say, oh, they're a tick ahead of Toronto and all that. I think Toronto's a lot better. And I think Milwaukee right now and Philadelphia are head-to-head as far as how they're going to grow moving forward. I believe Milwaukee has more diversity and they have more variety in their lineup than they do in Philadelphia.
I totally agree with that. Milwaukee's the only team, though, that I think has a guy that can dominate a game the way Embiid can.
Yeah, I just think that part, when I grew up, it was important to have the best player. In the new NBA, it's not that important to have the best player. So when we do this chart, oh, they got 3 of the best 8. But, man, in this new NBA, you need 9 or 10 deep. And that's what Philadelphia, no one has an answer for that because they don't have it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.